Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor, bringing you another video on how to raise your vibration so you can live your best life. Let's talk about nonviolent communication. What is nonviolent communication? It is a communication strategy that is designed to help you work with someone who may not see the same perspective as you, or if you are both feeling really activated and charged over a certain topic, or if you're in a relationship and there's a behavior that's happening in the house and you really need to find a new solution for this, but every time you bring it up, everybody gets activated and probably over responds. Nonviolent communication strategy can be extremely helpful in articulating what you need and accomplishing the goal for both of you. So it's really quick and easy, 4 simple steps. And many times it is kind of that, yeah, I heard this already or I know this already response that you're going to have when you hear it. But trust me, if you have not tried it, if you are not exercising this muscle daily and regularly, then it is not yet showing you or demonstrating to you the possibilities that it can bring into your life. And so here they are. So it's four quick steps to getting what you want, essentially. So number one, just observe. Be in observer mode for a while. Allow that person to continue to articulate. If they're very activated or if they keep going on and on, give them a minute to just get it out. And then take the time to recap. Now, we've all heard this one. So notice if you still struggle with communication, if you still struggle with getting activated, if you still struggle with getting what you want, but you know this already, then there's still more to learn. There's a reason you're here. So recap what they say. If they're very activated, they've gone on and on for a few minutes, then they've started to calm down because they've expressed everything that they've needed to say, then you can articulate back to them, this is what I think I'm hearing you say. Now remember, we all have a filter, we all have a bias of our experiences, our beliefs, and everything that we have integrated into our program and our personality throughout our lives. So know that when you recap that to them, there might be a need, likely most often, there is a need for them to re-articulate what they have said so that they can clarify and help us remove our filters. So when that recap happens, don't take it personally if they say, no, you didn't hear me correctly. Just stay calm and say, I apologize, I do want to understand you. I hear that you're saying XYZ now. Is that a better way to recap what you've said? Then number two is, well, I would even add in a step that's not included in the formal process is don't take anything personally. How a person responds to you says everything about them, how they're feeling, and what they need to work on. It says very little about you unless you've been extremely aggressive, and in that sense, it's just provoking more of the trauma in both of you. So technically, number two, going back to the strategy, talk about feelings, not about position. Talk about feelings without blame. So I feel like, right? I feel is always one of the best ways, I won't say always, is one of the greatest ways to start the sentence, to start the conversation. I feel misunderstood. I feel worried. I feel concerned for you. I feel unheard. I feel unappreciated. It's not I feel unappreciated because you never do these things for me, right? It's just I feel XYZ. And we can keep it short and keep it to the feeling. And then if there's a request to say, okay, when do I make you feel that way? We can bring in an example, but again, remember to keep it in the I statements and not in a you statement, in the blame, essentially. Number three is identify the need. Recognize that everybody does everything they do for a purpose, that they feel that they are missing a need, there's an unmet need, and so there's maybe even a subconscious belief that if I lash out or if I respond aggressively or whatever their behavior is, they believe that somehow that's going to keep them safe or help them meet one of their needs. Now remember, everybody's needs are valid, and this is where we create the win-win. Your need is valid, their need is valid. So we have to understand our own need and we have to understand their need to be able to find that win-win. And remain as king when asking the question. Always continue to ask questions until we really feel like we've gotten to the root cause of the problem. So we can ask clarifying questions if we feel like the first response isn't really clicking or it's not resonating or it doesn't quite make sense or I feel like there still might be something missing. Keep asking questions until you can get to the bottom of that. Then we can ask, maybe someone says, you always leave the door unlocked, and I wish you would lock the door, and the kids always almost escaped. And so what's underneath that? A need for safety, a need for security. And so we can articulate back to them, I think what I'm hearing is that you need to feel safe, and that this situation has made you feel unsafe. How can I, and this is number 4, make that request? We either ask, can you please lock the door? Or we can ask, how can I help you feel safe in this? How can I do this better next time? What do you need is one of my favorite questions. I love to ask my kids all the time, and especially it helps them get in tune and in touch with what they need as well. Ask that question, what do you need, and how can I offer this to you? Right? And so it's time to, in that 4th step, find that win-win solution. So understanding what you need and being able to ask for what you need, as well as understanding what the other party needs and being willing to offer that to them. Now, this is not about sacrifice. This is not about self-sacrifice. This is not about foregoing who you are, getting lost in the relationship, or becoming a doormat, or over-pleasing or over-giving. I am not a proponent of any of those things. There is a boundary, but you can meet that person halfway at the boundary. And you can say, I understand this is what you need. I understand this is what you're asking for. This is as much as I can give. Does that meet your need? And likely, if they're willing to treat you properly, if they're working on themselves and striving towards self-actualization and becoming a better person and building the relationship and being there for you, if they truly love you, they will meet you halfway. And they will say, I can see that you're making an attempt, and I can understand where your boundary is, and I can see that you've come about halfway. I need this little other thing, or this doesn't quite work for me, but maybe we could do this. And they make a proposal on how to meet halfway. And if you're blessed with another person on the other side who is equally as willing to take the effort and time to conduct nonviolent communication, you will build a stronger, very healthy relationship. If someone is not willing to meet you halfway, then that's an indication that that may be a toxic relationship that's not healthy for you, and you may need to put some space between yourself and that person. So again, nonviolent communication is a very beautiful communication modality, if you will, that it becomes so fluid and beautiful when you have that give and take, and when a person really understands you and they sort of bounce back to you, I hear you, I see you, I understand you, I love you, I care about what you need. It is such a beautiful thing what is created in those relationships. So thank you for bearing with my cold. I definitely am struggling a little bit in the vocal cords, so we're going to do a couple of videos today, and hopefully give myself a chance to rest in the near future. But yes, please use nonviolent communication when responding to my challenges of voice today. Not that I have anything but beautiful, kind people in this community so far. So I love you guys. I will see you on the next video. Please do like, subscribe, and share. Even just a little emoji comment would be extremely helpful. It does boost the YouTube algorithm, so I really appreciate your love and support on that. Otherwise, make sure you click this button here to get notified of the next video. Otherwise, if you'd like more today, check out the next video. All right, take care. Namaste, my friends.